Today we will cover SQL aggregate functions. These are the list of SQL aggregate functions: sum, max, minimum, average, and count. And I have a little bit example of about each of them. Sum, basically what sum does is if you sum up all of the numbers you get 15. And then we have max. Example of max or maximum would be if you have these three numbers 5, 6, and 7. What is the maximum number here? Obviously it is 7. Then we have minimum. The example of minimum would be, out of these three numbers, what is our minimum number? Definitely is 5. Then we have average. Basically what average does is summing up all the numbers and dividing them by itself. In this case, if you sum up these three numbers and divide it by 3 again, you get 5. And finally we have count, and simply if I have these three numbers, if I count them, I will get 3. That's what count does. Let's do some examples in order to understand these aggregate functions better. I can open our products table, and the best column which fits for us to use aggregate function would be, let's say, unit price. If I want to find out the sum of all of my unit prices, I can use sum function, and this is the way I would do it. Can just simply say sum, open and close the parenthesis, and unit price. Now, if I execute this code, you will see this is the sum of all of my unit prices from products table. As you see here, guys, the column name says no column name. You can give it a temporary column name, and I can just simply say as sum, and in this case, it will name the column as sum. The next example would be max or maximum. If I want to find out my most expensive product from the products table, this is the way I would do it. I can simply again leverage the same query, and all I have to do, just simply change this sum to max. And as you see here, in this case, we're not looking for sum, we're looking for maximum, the most expensive product. In this case, I can just name it to, let's say, the most expensive. Guys, whenever you try to give a temporary name to your column, and if it consists of more than one word, then you have to take it either inside a single quotation or bracket. Now, if I execute this code, you will see that the column successful has been renamed to the most expensive, and my most expensive product is this one. Next is, if I want to find out my least expensive product, then all I have to do, just change it to the min. Oops, I have to change it to min. And here I can just say the least expensive. Now if I execute this code, you will see again the least expensive product that I have on my products table is this one. Next we have average. If I want to find out my average unit price from products table, then again I can leverage the same query, and I can simply just change this min to average, and here I can just say the average price. And if I execute the code, you will see, guys, this is my average unit price from products table. And finally, we have count. If I want to find out all of my unit prices, meaning that I want to count each row, then again, all I have to do, just say, switch this to count, and I can simply name this column the count of unit price column. Now, if I execute this code, you will see it will show us that I have 77 rows. This is the way you guys can use these aggregate functions in SQL. Now, if I want to merge and use all of these aggregate functions in one query, how I can do that? Let's say in one query, I want to get the sum of unit price, the most expensive, the least expensive, the average price, and counting each row. Then in that case, all I have to do is, remember guys, since it is one query, we need only one time the name of the table. What does it mean? It means that from each line, I have to just remove the product, the table name, and after each temporary column name, I have to just divide it by comma. Now in this case, if I remove all the product names multiple times, just because I'm using it only once, I have to remove it. Let's put that comma back, and one more time. Now in this case, let's make our code a little bit more readable. And in this case, what it will show us, it will show us the, now remember guys, we need only one time select as well. Since you want to use all of them at once, you need only one time to mention select, and you need to one time mention the table name. Now, if I remove final select, you will see all of the arrows will disappear. Now, if I execute this code together, you will see that it will show us all of the sum, max, mean, average, and count result in one query. Guys, this is the example of using SQL aggregate functions. Please subscribe and like my videos, and thank you for watching.